Major League Soccer Toronto vs CF Montreal prediction, team news, lineups preview. Bitter rivals Toronto and CF Montreal will clash on Saturday at BMO Field in the first Canadian Classique match of the 2024 MLS campaign. The Reds conceded a pair of late strikes to lose 2-0 versus Nashville SC in midweek, while Montreal suffered a 3-1 defeat to the Columbus Crew. Match preview. Missing many of their regulars through suspension. The Reds, minus their band manager John Herdman, employed a new tactic on Wednesday, putting in 5 midfielders to try to clog the middle of the field and prevent any scoring opportunities. It nearly worked as Toronto held Nashville off the scoresheet for 80 minutes but eventually succumbed to all the pressure, conceding multiple goals in consecutive matches and losing in both instances. Another defeat on Saturday would match their longest losing run in this competition this season 3, while they have conceded as many times in their previous 2 domestic encounters 5 as they had in their 4 MLS matches before that. 4 of the 6 TFC victories in MLS this season have occurred at BMO Field, where they have posted 3 clean sheets in 2024. Meanwhile, 5 of their 6 league defeats this year have occurred when they have given up the opening goal. Though they have only done that once at BMO Field in MLS play this year 3-1 defeat to Sporting Kansas City. Since defeating Atlanta United 2-0 in March, the Reds have scored 11 goals in their last 8 MLS encounters. But only 1 came in the opening half. Herdman is not the only manager experiencing a slump, as Laurent Courtois' men in Montreal lost for a 3rd successive time in MLS play on Wednesday. Over that span, they have allowed 10 goals, including 3 or more in each of those defeats, while netting once or fewer in 3 of their previous 4 domestic affairs. A defeat on Saturday would mark the first time Le CFM will have suffered 4 consecutive losses in this competition since the 2020 campaign. Montreal are winless in their last 5 domestic affairs away from home, having been outscored by a combined margin of 14-4 over that stretch. They have yet to collect a point in the 2024 regular season when conceding the opening goal, doing so on 4 separate occasions. Le CFM have won their last 5 matches in all competitions versus Toronto, including 3 successive triumphs at BMO Field. Team news. Sean Johnson, Kevin Long, Prince Owusu and Federico Bernardeschi were all forced out of the Toronto lineup in midweek through suspension but are all eligible to return this weekend, as is their manager, John Herdman. Richie Laryea was also suspended for their match on Wednesday but is still recovering from hamstring surgery, while Joaquil Marshall-Rutty is dealing with a hamstring strain himself and Brandon Servania remains out after rupturing his ACL. Shane O'Neill is unlikely to feature because of a quad strain. Lorenzo Insigne came off the bench for a 2nd match running and Charlie Sharp made his MLS debut after being signed to a short-term contract from Toronto FC 2. Raheem Edwards missed the previous Montreal clash with a sore abdomen. Nathan Dylan Saliba was unavailable due to a hip issue. Joseph Martinez did not feature because of a problem in his knee and Lassi Lapalainen remains questionable after suffering a recent knock in training. Matthias Coccaro remains sidelined after suffering a long-term leg injury, and Kwadwo Opoku is nearing a return from an ankle ligament tear. Matthew Chouanière converted a 42nd minute penalty for Le CFM on Wednesday. But that was all the home fans would have to cheer about. Toronto possible starting lineup. Johnson, Rosted, Long, Gomes, Bernardeschi, Longstaff, Coelho, Spicer, Osorio, Etienne. Insigne. CF Montreal possible starting lineup. Sirois, Campbell, Waterman, Sosa, Rouen, Pete, Chouanière, Lassiter, Duke, Toy, Vilcent. We say, Toronto 2-0 CF Montreal. Both teams are struggling at the moment, but the Reds should get plenty of difference makers back this weekend, which could pay dividends. Thanks for your watching. Don't forget to click the subscribed button and hit the bell icon for more.